Hey guys, if you've been watching other videos, especially the weekly forecast, I talked about that I was going to post about my adventures um, going into different types of haunted houses and HHN Halloween horror at Universal Studios. And I'm Laura for all the new people here, and I am documenting different experiences that I've had, really strange, weird stuff, and especially around Halloween. Okay, but really it's more like September to December is when the veil can be thin because we have a couple of holidays coming up, depending on what you believe in, what you celebrate, and it all connects us with spirit. Okay, our angels, guides, source of all life, God, whatever you believe in. Okay, it makes it easier to connect. Now, building up to Halloween, my birthday is October 13th, and I am a Libra, and I'm always about balance and seeing all sides of a situation. And so when it comes to holidays such as Halloween, as I rise up the spiritual ladder, I become more and more sensitive to everything. Like I can see, taste, touch, feel stuff that other people couldn't. And that does go along with my mediumship abilities. And what you're going to realize, guys, is that you don't just have one gift or ability. Like some people say, I'm a medium, I'm an empath, I'm this or that. The thing is you can open up all of those abilities if you stay true to your path and you want to progress. You know, like some people, they just want to be a medium and they stay in that energy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Or just being an empath. But one thing that was really weird on my birthday is that we went to this Italian restaurant, Boca di Beppo, and I hope I'm saying it right because my family knows I'm bad with names and I mispronounce stuff. We went in there and it has all these tchotchkes and these, like old photos of history, funny, weird, quirky stuff, and tons of popes and nuns, photos of popes and nuns, and their articles of clothing. Okay, so there's a specific pope. We got seated in this room where there was like clothes that had the energy, like the spirit was still active there. So I was getting ready to celebrate my birthday. They gave you like this hot fudge sundae in like a giant wine glass. And I'm going to share it with my family, but I started to take a bite. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this place has spirits all over it. And, unless somebody tells me, hey, can you clear my house or whatever, I'm not going to go and mess with things, but I will protect myself and be safe. And what ended up happening is that I asked my angels to put a barrier around me so I could enjoy my meal. I blessed what was there, okay, and that was it. And I came to find out that there was a whole room that had popes in it. And that had very strong spiritual energy. And I felt like the popes were actually looking at me while I was eating. There was one photo where one of the popes was sitting there he's sitting on a bench or something and he's looking. And I was like, he's looking at me. I was just being silly then, but I could sense that there was tons of spirits there. Now, it brings me to the point of going into haunted houses, Halloween horror in Universal Studios. Imagine being that sensitive that I felt all that going into an Italian restaurant full of like family heirlooms and things they've collected over the years, going into a haunted house or a theme park that is surrounded with a particular type of low vibe energy. Now, I used to be someone that before I had my awakening, I was a horror fan. Like I would watch sci-fi and horror. So I was really familiar with everything that they are doing. So the first time that I went was last year to HHN. I decided I don't want to be afraid of stuff anymore. I don't want something to rule my life. I don't want to be so sensitive I can't enjoy regular life. And if I want to go into that type of thing, that I know that, nothing's going to hurt me or come at me or any of that type of thing. It's more of like building your psychic muscles, If you just see it as, now I'm giving some things for people that like this type of stuff and they're highly sensitive and they stopped going to it, okay? Take your power back, okay? So that's one of the reasons why I went to HHN, is because I wouldn't go because I was like, oh my gosh, there's low demonic energy at those places. There's, and for the most part, there is a lot of low energy there at these types of things. It's like they get drawn in and they feed off of the fear or whatever that people, express in these places. And so my first time going was last year, and I, just kind of put a shield up over myself. I blessed everywhere I went so that it was just a haunted house. It wasn't that there was some negative entity in there. And what happened is I did hear something negative talking to me, and it was like saying welcome and all this. This thing was like, hey, welcome to the dark side. And I was like, okay, are they trying to scare me? Or are they being funny? But what I realized is I just focused on me. I closed in my energy, so I wasn't absorbing everything everywhere that I go, okay? I wasn't taking on anything. And that helped me to survive that. And I ended up relaxing and having fun. And, some of that stuff is kind of gruesome. They're like body parts all over. They had this one truck that was full of body parts. And I was like, seriously? And then they had this one section where it was like a witch's cauldron area or something. And it was like an incantation or a spell was going over and over and over. And I picked up on it, and I'm like, okay, every time we come into this area, these people are like pretending like they're casting a spell on that. And it was very interesting to witness all the stuff. And me not taking it personally, not taking it on that, it's me against them or any of that. I just kind of walked in, I stood in my power, I had my shield on, and I was like, this is just images. This is just, it's just a thing that somebody made up. And when I had that realization, I did not let any fear or negative beings or anything in. Because if you're sensitive like me, if you focus on that stuff, you can allow it in. You tune into it, you become afraid, and then it comes in. And so I had a lot of fun and ended up leaving there, feeling good. And I realized that I think I cleared the place out. So it was actually just people having fun. It wasn't negative stuff there. And then what happened this year, so 2023, I decided, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go again. And then my friends who are coaster enthusiasts, and they have a page called GP Coasters. And sometimes I'm in the videos, but I feel kind of silly. Like, I don't know everything they know about the park and the height and how fast a roller coaster goes. I'm more of like, I like to go and have fun. So I'm a roller coaster enthusiast, but I'm not obsessed. So I went on a trip with them during the Halloween, like all of October. And it was haunted house after haunted house after haunted house after haunted house. Okay, so I did HHN, and then I went to all these amusement parks with haunted houses. So I was like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to utilize my abilities, my protection, and not be afraid of anything, So I saw it kind of like a test for me to utilize my abilities. So at Halloween Horror this year, they had Chucky. They had an Exorcist house. They had Stranger Things, so they had a bunch of different houses. And when I walked in there, I made sure that the same type of thing. I closed in my energy. I'm not taking on anybody's stuff. I'm staying in my own frame of mind. So again, I'm giving people advice because there's a lot of sensitive, intuitive people. They go to this stuff, and sometimes you can walk away with something bothering you, or it's like you absorb the energy of everything there. Okay, and you can feel off or weird. Now, we did like all these haunted houses in one day. And my sister and her kids and family were there, and we kind of went in some houses with them. I did not go in the Exorcist house. I'm like, I just don't do anything with possession. I'm like, yeah, I don't need that in my life. So I don't mess with that type of stuff. One thing I did notice is that after we did the HHN, I had a string of nightmares. So it was like, so I ended up like bringing home the energy of like what was there to a degree. Like I did pretty good last year. This year, I ended up dreaming about all these weird things, like these people coming up to me with heads in a box and all this other types of things. And it was just crazy. And so we were down in Florida for several days. So like every day I was just kind of cleansing and clearing my energy, blessing my dreams, setting the intention I'm not going to lower places or lower realms, things like that. Because when you leave your body, you can program yourself to go to higher places or lower places or wherever. And I was like, okay, I'm not hanging out in that lower realm that's like a big haunted house. And so after that, I had to take a break from the haunted houses. And then it was like a week or 2 weeks later, I had that roller coaster trip I was telling you guys about, where we went to a ton of amusement parks that all had Halloween stuff going. Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, that one had an intense setup. It was like once it turned nighttime, there was like body parts, stuff everywhere. It was something. And then we went to Hershey Park. Hershey Park had a Halloween thing too. I did not go in houses for the rest of the parks. I did go for Williamsburg though. I went in a couple of those houses. But it was like curiosity got to me, and I wanted to see if it was all that. And, some of it was cool. Some of it was kind of a joke. We did go to a couple of other places that King's Dominion was another park that we went to, had Halloween stuff with clowns and all that. And again, I just made sure that I wasn't tuning into it. I saw it as a funny story or something, okay? For this type of stuff, you guys, I am somebody where my personality, I like all different types of stuff. And so I don't watch horror movies really anymore or any of that, because I work with angels, and I feel like, okay, I need to have balance in my life. So sometimes I will, for Halloween, do haunted houses and stuff like that, but it's not a part of my everyday life. So you guys got to have some balance, okay? It can't just be all dark or all super light. You have to be somewhere in a middle that is right for you, okay? So you okay? So this is what I'm saying. My advice is, if you're participating, going to these haunted houses, listen to what I was saying about protection. You can even ask your guardian angels to go ahead of you into the areas to clear it out, and that you're just seeing it as like a story. It's not real. You're not giving your power away to anything. And, sometimes I will have these types of exercises to help me with my abilities, because I just keep getting more and more sensitive to everything. people's feelings that I come in contact with, anything, animals, what have you, environments. And it's like I need to do training exercises to help me, that I'm not going to be able to live in this world if I don't, like kind of do some things to help myself. And in a weird way, the going to the haunted houses and being around certain energies helps me to kind of, stay, like take my power back, not allow anything to, make me afraid or things like that. Because working in spirit, you'll realize that there's a lot of stuff that we have no idea that is around us, by us, and 90% of it is not anything harmful. It's the movies, it's, advertising, movies, all that make it that there's always something dark around the corner. And a lot of times it could be that your abilities are just opening up and you're seeing what's really there. And that can freak people out and then make them be afraid. Like there's so much more than what we were taught to believe. And so I'm just exploring, learning, growing, and as my abilities grow, I will continue to kind of test myself, my energy, and things of that nature, because otherwise I'd be a hermit living out on a lake somewhere in the mountains. So that's my story about, some of the things I've experienced, and, how to take care of yourself if you're going and celebrating Halloween, or sometimes the weird, harsh, dark energy that could be around. You can transmute it into light and enjoy yourself, okay? And don't take it so seriously as well. And with that, I'm going to stop here, and happy Halloween, guys.